On today's live daily news, more on what's going on in the Middle East, a rumor swirling around the San Angelo Police Department, and a cello has gone missing. Plus, Yantis Green and B from the Bass Bunch take you on a trip down Electric Avenue in the all-new Nissan Ariya. All this and more. I'm Matt Trammell, and this is Live. But before we get to the news, South Plains Implement presents the October Closeout Sale. Unbeatable deals on John Deere compact and utility tractors. Save $1,500 on selected 1 to 3 series tractors, $2,000 off of select 4 series tractors, and a huge $3,000 off the select 5E tractors. You better hurry though, because this offer is only good until October 27th. County restrictions apply. Don't miss out on October Closeout savings at South Plains Implement in San Angelo off of US 67 North at 3993 Tractor Trail and at 18 more locations throughout West Texas and New Mexico. That's South Plains Implement, where farm meets family. Now, on to the news. We start the show today with whispers coming out of the San Angelo Police Department. 4 days ago on social media, former public information officer for the SAPD, Tracy Piet Fox, warned of a mass exodus of officers from the department. Reason why? Well, she claims it has to do with salaries that are given to our officers. Here locally, an 8-year officer is given roughly $60,000 salary. Compare that to an Abilene, and that would be a $30,000 difference. But here in San Angelo, the police department and the city of San Angelo have what is called meet and confer, or a chance for the officers to fight for higher salaries. So with that, who's at fault? We are in the works of having both a representative from the city of San Angelo and a representative from the police department on the show to explain the issue in depth. So be on the lookout for that. In other news, the San Angelo Symphony is asking for the public's help in finding a lost cello that was stolen in downtown San Angelo over the weekend. The Symphony took to social media on Monday to let the public know that a member's cello had been stolen out of their car on Saturday night at 01 Ale House. If you guys have any idea where the instrument went, then please get a hold of the SAPD ASAP. Moving into tonight, the San Angelo ISD School Board is looking to make some big moves during their meeting on Tuesday. The two main things, one will be them opposing vouchers to the state, and 2, reappointing every member on the local appraisal board. These two are huge talking points since the Texas legislature is in session specifically for school choice right now, as it concerns for the other one is the tax appraisals were a massive story, of course, with all the tax appraisal hikes in Texas. There's a lot more to this, so check out the story on SanAngeloLive.com. Also today, the war in Israel rages on both sides. As of this afternoon, it is being reported that the Israeli army has gone full offensive mode on Gaza, and at this point has decimated a large section of the Strip. On top of that, they have cut off all water and electricity. This has not stopped Hamas from creating chaos, though. Word coming from a small community claims that terrorists today killed 200 men, women, and children, and with that decapitated 40 babies. This situation continues to grow more hostile, so stay on San Angelo Live for more updates. Moving into weather, beautiful day outside today with the highs staying in the low 80s. This will continue tomorrow, but expect a short uptick as the week progresses with a high of 92 on Thursday. By the weekend, we should be living right with a high of only 77 on Saturday. No rain in the forecast, but of course, check back on San Angelo Live every day for your weather update. And finally, the Odessa Broncos are coming off an upset win last week against Odessa Permian. This week, they have to take on the Central Bobcats, who are hungry for their first district win. Can the Bobcats get it done? Cover One analyst Ryan Chadwick caught up with head coach Kevin Crane to hear his thoughts before the big matchup. Of course, before we get to that, though, here's a quick message from the Bass Bunch.
Do you have a child with special needs? Well, we have a special day of fun just for you. It's the Fall Festival for Children with Special Needs, sponsored by Jim Bass Ford and San Angelo Live. Join us at Jim Bass Ford Thursday, October 26th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. for games, prizes, refreshments, and candy, free for children with special needs and their families. The 2023 Fall Festival at Jim Bass Ford at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road. Don't miss it.
The Central Bobcats fell in a tough matchup against the Midland High Bulldogs last Thursday. At his weekly press conference, Bobcats head coach Kevin Crane gave his thoughts on the loss and what the Bobcats need to do moving forward. Let's take a look.
Coach, again, it was probably the most complete 3 quarters of football that y'all played this season against a good team. What is the lesson that you tell the guys to take away from that when it comes to momentum and off of that turnover?
Yeah, momentum is important, obviously, but obviously don't turn the ball over, number one. We had a little miscommunication in the backfield, and just, typically we don't do those things. Like, we hadn't turned the ball over much all year, and that was a crucial play, and you just got to keep playing, man. You never know. It's one play can make the difference, and that was certainly a big play at the time, but, we had a chance to keep playing and overcome it, and we just didn't quite get it done. But, every play is important, 60 minutes, and every play is important. You never know when one play could change the whole outcome of the game, and so you just got to keep playing, you got to keep fighting, and I thought we played hard the entire game. Just, like I said, didn't quite get it done.
The Bobcats traveled to Odessa on Friday to take on the Odessa High Broncos. The Broncos defeated Odessa Permian in overtime last week and will prove to be another tough matchup for the Bobcats. Kickoff is scheduled at Ratliff on Friday for 7 p.m. And for more sports around the Concho Valley and beyond, be sure to check in every day at sanangelolive.com/sports.
So gross.
Right now, get 15% off carpet cleaning from Carpet Tech.
Yeah, like the Mustang, the Mach-E, you can put a propulsion sound on it, and it just it's not so that you can just to be silly or anything. They do it so that people could kind of feel more at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just more to what they're used to.
I had a guy yesterday that said it took him 2 stoplights to figure out this was electric. And then he finally figured out there's no engine noise.
Yeah.
There's no acceleration noise.
And there's a lot of cars that have that auto start and stop feature where you come to a stoplight and it stops. So it's not so uncommon now for the engine noise to just go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
but you still feel it when it just barely. It's perceptible when it comes back on or when it shuts off. Again, the range and charging. I finally got to where I'm not obsessed over the charge, how much, what the range is. Oh, I just pulled out in front of a cop.
oh, great.
And I just need to not do that. And we got that on camera.
Yeah.
He went on. Yes.
Woo. Dodge the bullet.
And we know all the motor cars.
Oh, do you?
So, but when I quit obsessing over how much charge it had and just drove it like a car, now it's just a car.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that.
And you should get a notification on your phone anyways whenever you starts getting low. You haven't gotten there, I'm sure, but
it will tell me when I get, and maybe I don't have the setting right, but around 110 miles left, it'll say you're out of range of a charger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in town, and I'm thinking, where's the charger that I'm out of range from? And I'm sure that's something I haven't set.
Yeah.
But and I finally silenced the weather alerts because every time there's a thunderstorm warning in Texas, it came up and said there's a severe thunderstorm 48 miles from your current location.
That's like warning folks up north that snow is coming.
No, but it's really advanced, and this is, to me, this is a luxury SUV crossover, and I like driving it. It's comfortable. It's so quiet. It's so smooth, and I still haven't put it in sport mode and mashed the gas because I'm afraid that it will. I'm afraid of how fast it will go. They're very powerful.
Yeah, they have a lot of power. A lot of people think it's not electric. It's not It's not gas. I mean, it's not going to have any power, and that cannot be further from the truth. I mean, they have a lot of torque.
They do, and it's amazing, and they didn't just throw this thing together overnight. I mean, there's a lot of technology and a lot of research and a lot of hours that were put into this.
Oh yeah, and then Nissan, they're really no stranger to the EV world. I think they made the Leaf back in like 2010, 2009-ish, so something like that. I mean, they've been in the EV game for a good while. I mean,
well over a decade, and it shows. It really does, because it's seamless, and for me, charging at home is like, oh my, it's so convenient.
And that's really where you need to charge. A lot of people say, well, where are the chargers in San Angelo? Yeah. Well, you can pull that up. There's a list where you can put. There's a website. There's a whole bunch of tools that you can use to find those. But really, where you want to charge is at home.
Exactly.
That's where you want to charge 99% of the time. If you're charging somewhere else, chances are it's because you're traveling somewhere.
Exactly.
If you're just going home, if you're just going to work, you're going to the store, you're going to go visit a friend, you're running your daily errands. 99% of people are not going to travel. You got 200 and something miles on there right now.
Yeah.
And you're at 91%. Mm-hmm. Most people are just not going to use that on a daily basis.
Yeah, and Nissan comes with the Nissan app, and what I've figured out is I looked at a trip. Joe asked me, where are you going to go? What are you going to do if you go to San Antonio?
You can interrupt the voice prompt and give a...
And
you can interrupt. Please use manual...
These cars are smarter than us, man.
I know. I'm still figuring out the voice control stuff. But what are you going to do if you have to go to San Antonio? And I said, well, I just plugged it in on the app, and what it says is stop in Junction.
Yep.
And charge.
That's right.
And you don't have to stop and charge, for hours and hours. You just need to charge it just enough to get, and it'll tell you, the app.
Yeah, we actually, fun story for you, we actually delivered an EV to San Antonio, I want to say about a month ago.
Okay.
It was me and another salesman, and we went and it did offer us the opportunity to stop in Junction.
Mm-hmm.
We chose to just kind of keep going. We were kind of playing with it just to see, which options it was giving us and how it was starting to run out of range and stuff like that. But we timed it correctly, and we got to San Antonio. We still had about 40 miles left of range, and we were right outside of San Antonio. I can't remember, it was around Kerrville, I think.
Okay.
And we decided to just pull over because we obviously didn't want to give it to the customer with 30 miles of range to go, even though we were meeting him about 5 minutes away from his house, but still.
Right.
We stopped and charged for about, I think it might have been 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and that got us back up to over 140 miles of range, and then we just kept going, and
wow.
Customer was super happy when we gave it to him. So, it really didn't add any more time other than that charge time of about, 35 minutes or so,
Well, and I've looked at just enough to know that there are level 1, level 2, and level 3 chargers. And the Nissan Ariya comes with a charging cable.
Yes.
That has the level 1, which is the 110 volt trickle charger.
Yeah, they call it the mobile charger, and that's really what you should use in case of an emergency.
Right.
That's not the way that you really want to charge, as your norm.
The level 2 is I had a dryer plug put in my garage.
Uh-huh.
And,
there you go.
That's the 220, 240.
Yes, correct.
That's 48 watts or 50 watts, volts, 48, 50 volts. And that's the normal charger.
Yes, that's the normal charger, and in most cases, with that charger, with the 240, the 220, 240, you're going to get a full charge, just about every night if you really wanted to. You can plug in, and when you wake up in the morning, you're going to have a full charge every time. And I believe it's on a 220, 240 plug. The Ariya we have right now can go, I believe, from 20 to 80% in about 40 minutes.
Wow.
And again, that's from 20 to 80%. Now, you're not going to be at 20% every night.
Right.
You shouldn't even be at 40%, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just running your daily errands and doing your regular stuff, you're not going to be charging every night.
Yeah, there's no way I would need to charge every
once
night.
Every 2 weeks, once every week, something like
that.
that.
Like that.
And, the day that you need to charge, you can plug in when you're about 25, 30%, and you have a full charge the very next morning.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's the level 3 charger, which I've never used.
No, I personally haven't hooked up to one yet. We are getting level 3 chargers in San Angelo. San Angelo is making EV moves. Basically, they are going to improve all the charging infrastructure that we have here locally, and they will eventually get level 3 chargers. Okay. And level 3 chargers, like I said, you can get a full charge in about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, so in a very short amount of time. And that's what you would probably run into when you're traveling. But
yes.
But you're right. I mean, we're at the very beginning of the EV revolution, I suppose.
Yes.
And the federal government is pushing it, and the car manufacturers have already decided that that's the direction they're going, because they're retooling. They're building factories to build EVs.
Yeah. We actually just went to an EV convention downtown over by the visitor center recently, and they were telling us that all the Texas counties, including Tom Green, including San Angelo, they're going to be getting they'll eventually be getting grants, to be able to install more EV charging stations and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's coming. I mean, it's big, it's happening, and it's coming.
And there'll be more chargers while you're traveling. So that's going to be, like back in 100 years ago when people had gasoline engines and they were looking for paved roads and gas stations.
That's right. That's a good comparison.
That infrastructure came along, and maybe even like cell phones. I mean, there weren't cell towers everywhere there are now, and I remember, I'm old enough to remember when we were charged by the minute for cell service, and now there are dozens of different carriers and there's cell towers everywhere. So you've got that technological path to follow as well. So the EVs are just another one of those improvements or additions to technology that are here to stay, and they're expanding, and it will be much more dependable, much more affordable, and much more prevalent and available in the years to come.
That's right, and I noticed you called it the EV revolution. That's that couldn't be better said.
Yeah.
I know one of my sales managers was recently telling me that he remembers a time when the internet wasn't a thing. Not too long ago, and when it started coming out, the internet revolution, when that started coming out, he said this is not going to be a thing. People are not going to shop for cars on the internet.
Yeah.
And how many times have you been on the internet today?
Yeah.
How many times? Every person that shops for a car will always do research online, and
right.
that's the one thing that people would say, people are not going to buy cars this way, and then here you go, and then now there's an EV revolution, and I remember that was kind of like my thing, because I've been in the car business for probably about 8 years, and when I first started, hearing EVs are going to be a thing, I was like, there's no way, and here we are. Now they're talking about putting level 3 chargers. Mm-hmm. Jim Bass Ford is about to upgrade their chargers as well. That's coming.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I said, it is a revolution. It's coming.
And it's sort of exciting to be in the process, and part of my reasoning in buying an EV was to figure out the technology, help work through the technology, and so I guess, like cell phones, make the mistakes on my own, so I can share that information along the way, and maybe save folks a headache or two.
Yeah, that's right. And if there's still a lot of questions, that you had yourself a lot of questions whenever you came by and wanted to purchase the vehicle, and I'm sure you have questions now still. You're still finding out, but that's what we're here for. If you come see me at Jim Bass Ford, just ask for Braulio. I go by B, and I can answer just about every question, and if I can't, I'll find that answer for you pretty quickly as well. So,
all right, Braulio, thanks for coming in today and riding around.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always a pleasure, man.
And we'll do this again shortly.
All right.
Thanks.
Very well.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo. All right, what a great time there. Go down to the Bass Bunch and check out all their EVs. Whether you look at Nissan or Ford, there's plenty of options for you and the whole family. This is the Live Daily News Show. We're here every weekday during the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to be giving you all the news that's going on in San Angelo, plus a very interesting interview like the one we had today. For the team here at San Angelo Live, I'm Matt Trammell. We will see you guys tomorrow.